Welcome back to Gok's Manhwa Recap, your home for the best overpowered action and regression stories on the internet. Today, we are diving into a world where humanity was forced into a cosmic alien survival tournament called the Space League. After round of brutal losses, Earth is down to its final 10 nations and facing total annihilation. Humanity's rank 1 player is a toxic egomaniac who takes all the credit, but the planet's true last hope is a betrayed refugee named Song Jihan. Armed with a broken SSS rank skill, Jihan is about to watch the world end, and force the universe to give him a second chance. Make sure to smash that subscribe button so you don't miss a single chapter, and let's jump straight into the apocalypse. New York City is about to witness the absolute end of the world. A terrifying system alert just went live, starting demotion prevention. The objective is simple, but deadly: defense. Out of nowhere, the sky splits open with apocalyptic red lightning as a system message confirms everyone's worst nightmare. It is summoning the monster of the end, Behemoth. The ground violently shakes as skyscrapers begin to crumble. Hunters who thought they were prepared are completely losing their minds in pure terror, screaming for their lives. Then, a moment of absolute silence as the realization hits. It's here. Look at the size of this thing. A colossal nightmare covered in blue flames, tearing through buildings and staring down at humanity with multiple glowing red eyes. Now, these hunters have only one final choice left: defeat Behemoth right now, or watch the entire world end. The monster unleashes a deafening, reality-shattering roar. In the chaos, the leader screams at the top of his lungs, trying to rally the panic-stricken hunters. Everyone, stay in formation. If we fail here, the world will end. But looking at Behemoth towering over the city like a god of destruction, it feels completely hopeless. The remaining hunters try to charge forward, but they look like mere ants running toward their own graves. To understand how humanity ended up in this nightmare, we have to look back to where it all began. The BattleNet first started in 2010. At first, it seemed like a regular competition between nations. But everything changed when the Space League opened up. Suddenly, it wasn't a game anymore, it became a brutal fight for survival against terrifying creatures from outer space. Earth's representatives, humanity, just couldn't keep up. They continued to lose, round after round. Fast forward to the present day, and the devastating consequences are clear. There are only 10 nations remaining on the entire planet, putting Earth on the absolute brink of total destruction. But just when all hope seems lost, a lone figure steps up. Diving straight out of the sky from between the skyscrapers, a mysterious black-haired man in a simple white shirt drops directly toward the chaos. He locks his eyes onto the massive beast, his expression completely calm and unbothered by the apocalyptic terror around him. Behemoth senses the threat and immediately opens its massive jaw, charging a blinding, cataclysmic vortex of purple energy. But our protagonist isn't backing down. He cocks his fist back, channeling an insane surge of dark purple energy that crackles wildly through the air. With absolute precision and zero hesitation, he dives face-first into the monster's attack and throws a devastating punch straight down. The impact is absolute madness. His fist collides with the ground, unleashing a towering, blinding shockwave of white and purple energy that completely splits the battlefield open. The explosion is so violent that the shockwave sends blinding dust and debris flying everywhere. The nearby hunters are forced to shield their eyes from the crushing pressure, completely stunned by what they just witnessed. As the smoke slowly clears, the squad leader looks on in pure shock, completely speechless. Who is this absolute monster of a man who just challenged the end of the world with his bare hands? The leader collapses to his knees on the cracked pavement, staring blankly ahead as he mutters 3 words in pure disbelief: "And no way." Because right in front of him, the impossible just happened. A blue system message flashes across the sky, declaring the ultimate victory: Earth, USA mission accomplished. Standing dead center on top of the massive, smoking carcass of the defeated beast is the black-haired warrior. He single-handedly slaughtered the world-ending threat in a single strike. The leader can only look up from the rubble and wonder, is that the power of the martial saint? The warrior glances back over his shoulder with a cold, piercing look. A title card pops up on screen to reveal his true identity: affiliated with American First, world player ranking 7th, Song Jihan. He calmly speaks to the surviving squad, saying simply, "Good work." But the peace doesn't last long. High up on a building overlooking the plaza, an arrogant voice booms out over a microphone: "Our beloved nation, America, has won once again in this battle. This historical moment will be remembered by all citizens and your master, I. Baron." The camera pans to reveal a massive, smug man standing with his arms crossed over a heavy cloak. This is Baron Williams, the Guildmaster of American First and the current world player ranking first. He immediately steals all the credit for Jihan's insane achievement, basking in the glory while Jihan stands below in silence. Suddenly, a beautiful priestess with glowing green energy wings erupts from the crowd, flying straight down toward the battlefield while screaming Jihan's name in desperation. The guards try to hold the line, yelling, "Ah, priestess! You can't go down right now." Up on the balcony, one of Baron's subordinates frantically gestures to stop her, but Baron dismisses it coldly, ordering, "Leave her be. It's fine. She can take care of herself." The aide tries to argue, pointing out that Behemoth's lingering cosmic energy is still violently rampant across the surface. Baron looks down with a narrow, observing eye, quietly acknowledging just how insanely powerful that residual pressure truly is. Just the lingering toxic energy coming from Behemoth's decaying corpse is completely overwhelming, causing ordinary hunters nearby to choke, vomit, and pass out from pure exhaustion. Yet, our protagonist is enduring the crushing weight of standing directly on top of it. The winged priestess arrives at his side, her face twisted in pure worry as she calls out, "Jihan. Are you okay?" Her character title drops, affiliated with American First, Guild ranking 3rd, Sophia, her eyes instantly go wide with absolute horror as she looks at his arm. "Oh, my God. Your left arm," she screams. Jihan's arm is heavily fractured and completely coated in a dangerous, crackling purple aura left behind by the beast. Sophia doesn't waste a single second, raising her staff and casting her ultimate magic, regeneration. A brilliant swirl of holy green light envelopes Jihan's broken body. He winces slightly, feeling the agonizing sting as his flesh and bones try to mend. Jihan takes a heavy breath, exhaling a quiet, phew from his mouth. Up on the balcony, a frantic aide spots the exact same anomaly, screaming at the top of his lungs, "Master Baron! Look down there!" A blinding, holy pillar of gold light suddenly shoots straight out of the ground, splitting the dark sky. Sophia looks up at it in awe, whispering, "It's the boss's reward." He slowly hovers down from the sky, enveloped in red flames of raw power. He lands right in front of the legendary chest and cold-bloodedly declares, "I'll manage the reward." Seeing this shameless display of corruption, the lower-ranked hunters on the sidelines can't help but mutter under their breath in absolute disgust. One charges his teeth together, saying, "TCH. Someone would think he was the one who killed it." Baron Williams stands tall, taking full control of the crowd as he screams into his microphone, "American First. Starting now, I will name the guild members who will receive the rewards." The submissive crowd of high-ranking hunters instantly screams back in unison, "Yes, Master," completely feeding into his massive ego. As Jihan and Sophia stand silently in the background, Baron callously reads off his chosen list, "Priestess, number 4, number 5. That is all." "Huh. Wait, Master Baron," she shouts out, steps forward to defend her teammate. Screams at the top of her lungs, "Jihan was the one that killed the monster of the end. Why aren't you giving him the reward? Why?" He slowly points his massive hand down at Jihan and drops a cold, xenophobic truth that stuns the entire plaza, "That's because he's not American." He narrows his eyes, looking down at Jihan like he's trash. "Even if he has been naturalized, he's not a real American," Baron spits out, his voice filled with pure venom. "He's just a useful dog." Jihan stands in complete silence, the shadow completely hiding his eyes as the brutal words sink in. Sophia is absolutely furious, stepping in to scream, but only for Jihan to raise a hand and cut her off. He turns his back on the chest and steps away, saying with complete indifference, "It's fine. Just go. I don't care." As Jihan walks away from the glittering gold light, a bleak flashback reveals the grim truth. Jihan stood alone amidst the smoldering, broken ruins of Korea after his home nation was completely annihilated by the Space League. Even though his country was wiped off the map, Jihan managed to unlock a legendary, game-breaking power, nameless divine arts, skill rank, SSS. But even with the most powerful SSS rank skill on the planet, raw strength couldn't buy him respect. Yet, as we see him sitting alone in the locker room while his teammates laugh and talk in the background, his dark thoughts continue. "Even then, I was not recognized as an American, and experienced all kinds of discrimination." He closes his eyes, trying to block out the systemic hate. But as his fists tighten, he admits the bitter truth, "But what harassed me more than that, was the guilt that I survived alone." We cut back to the present day. He looks completely isolated, drowning in the heavy weight of survivor's guilt. He closes his eyes, trying to push the haunting memories away as he clears his mind. "Let's just focus on healing my arm," he tells himself, focusing a soft, blue glowing energy into his fractured hand. I will get my mission results soon. Suddenly, a system banner flashes across the screen, Game END. The system voice echoes through the arena, announcing results of the Bronze League demotion mission. Mission category, Defense. Clear conditions, survival of more than half the players. The screen starts displaying the global scoreboard. First up, USA, Success, showing a smug Baron and a worried Sophia. Next up, China, Success, displaying a fierce, battle-ready female warrior. But then, the screen suddenly flashes into a bloody, ominous red color. The system announces the failures block by block. Russia, fail. Japan, fail. Below them, 3 more generic crimson banners drop onto a burning hologram of the globe. Fail, fail, fail. The lower-ranked hunters on the ground look at the scoreboard in absolute horror, their faces turning completely pale with terror. One of them stammers out, trying to comprehend the sheer scale of the global disaster. Only 2 countries out of 10 succeeded. Humanity lost. Right on cue, a massive blood-red system window materializes over the entire city skyline. 4212 Humanity has lost the demotion prevention. A second blue window flashes. There are other players who have lost the demotion prevention. You will go against number 4773 Orc in the final demotion decision battle. The human party stands frozen in absolute dread, whispering in sheer panic, "O Orc." Sophia breaks away from the group, turning to Baron with frantic urgency. "Master. If we are facing orcs, we need Jihan," she pleads, her eyes wide with desperation. But Baron's face tightens into a menacing, pitch-black shadow of pure envy. He refuses to let Jihan outshine him ever again. Enveloped in a sudden flash of blinding blue teleportation light, Baron cuts her off with a cold, definitive, "No. We will go without him." The system box hits the screen one final time, summoning representative players of each planet. Battle will begin soon. In a flash of warping purple and white energy, Baron and his elite inner circle vanish from the battlefield, being forcefully pulled directly into the alien arena. Baron opens his glowing blue eyes as his feet hit the arena floor. He sizes up his opponent, narrowing his glare with a dark smirk. "Long time no see," he growls. The camera whip pans across the arena to reveal the enemy. A towering, bloodthirsty orc general with jagged tusks, massive tusk guards, and a war axe looms over them. He looks down at the human party with supreme disgust, spitting out the words, "You disgusting pigs." Behind him, a terrifying army of 4,772 ORC troops steps forward out of the shadows, their eyes glowing a sinister, feral. She counts their numbers, panic lacing her voice. "Is it just us 4 and a Chinese ranker?" "That's right." Because Baron completely cut Jihan out, the human representative party is critically short-handed. He aggressively clenches his fist, the veins popping out on his hand as he grits his teeth. "All right," he mutters, trying to force his confidence back up. "We don't need Song Jihan." Suddenly, Baron lets out a feral scream, "Huiuup." A violent, blinding pillar of crackling red lightning and scorching solar energy explodes from his body. His eyes ignite into twin beams of pure, unadulterated fire as the raw pressure of the world's #1 ranker completely alters the atmosphere of the arena. He loses his mind in a fit of absolute power-tripping arrogance, screaming at the top of his lungs, "I can do this alone." Baron rockets forward, his body coated in a blinding crimson aura as he launches his ultimate solo assault straight at the alien warlord. But the orc general doesn't even move a single inch. With lightning-fast reflexes that completely defy his massive size, the orc casually raises a massive, heavily armored arm, and blocks Baron's ultimate attack like it's absolutely nothing. The fierce Chinese female ranker and Sophia stand completely paralyzed, their faces pale and eyes wide with panic as they look up. Back on Earth, the remaining hunters gathered around the broadcast station screen throw their hands over their mouths, letting out desperate gasps of terror. Their eyes are glued to the screen as a blood-red system notification drops, fracturing what little hope humanity had left. Humanity player dead. The global broadcast cuts to absolute chaos. The screen flashes block by block, updating the horrifying casualties in real time as a deafening "Kiawag" echoes from the terrified crowds watching worldwide. Humanity player has died. Humanity player has died. Humanity player has died. The screen shows the brutal aftermath inside the arena. The orc army is mercilessly stomping, slashing, and obliterating the world's finest hunters. Human silhouettes are crushed into the ground under the weight of the massive alien warriors, completely helpless against their overwhelming physical superiority. A surviving human player collapses on the floor, dragging themselves backwards through the dirt as a massive, towering orc warlord steps out of the dust, casting a dark shadow right over them. The helpless hunter screams out a final, agonizing plea to the empty sky, "Stop. Go away. Please. But the brutal orc general just stares down with glowing red eyes, completely unmoved by human tears. He steps forward, pinning Sophia to the ground, his massive foot planting firmly onto her body. Sophia is left completely vulnerable, reaching her hand out into the empty air, completely helpless as she stares death in the face. The orc general slowly cocks his gargantuan battle axe back over his head, his eyes flash with a sickening, bloodthirsty gleam as he mutters his final words of absolute mockery to the human race. Thanks, human. Because you guys are weak, we will make it. SFX, a brutal, crushing flesh impact noise echoes out. The next system alert hits the screen with terrifying permanence. The game has ended. No. 4212 humanity has lost. Being demoted from Bronze League. Back on Earth, humanity is watching the stream in a state of absolute, localized panic. There is no lower league. No. 4212 humanity has been deemed worthless. 4212 humanity will be expelled from the Space League. Suddenly, back on the broken streets of New York, a small, swirling singularity of crackling black and purple cosmic electricity tears open right on the asphalt next to Jihan's shoe. SFX, violent electrical static crackling. The system delivers the terrifying final alert, beginning deletion. A massive overhead shot shows the entire planet being violently swallowed whole. Massive, jagged rifts of purple void energy tear straight through the ground, creating a colossal,
swirling black hole directly underneath the city. The black lightning surges violently around Jihan, engulfing his entire body as he stands near the yellow taxi. His eyes widen in pure, unadulterated shock as he realizes what is happening. The cosmic purple sparks crackle across his clothes and skin, locking him in place. As the apocalyptic text reads, "This is the world's end." A terrifying wide shot reveals the entire planet Earth in outer space being forcefully torn apart, completely splitting down the middle by massive, planet-sized purple lightning bolts as it gets sucked into the infinite dark abyss. Worldwide, the remaining human population lets out a collective, final, hair-raising viag as they are pulled apart into the digital void. Terrified screams of "S save me," and children crying out "Moem Dia" fill the atmosphere as their bodies dissolve into static right before everything cuts to pitch black. The system drops a bone-chilling message over the silence. Humanity deletion complete. The entire planet is gone. Every single human is dead, but then, something completely unexpected happens. Error detected. The system box updates, flashing a brilliant crimson color that changes everything. There are still humans remaining, deep within the absolute, pitch-black infinity of the void. A single, glowing golden silhouette floats completely weightless. It's Jihan. His entire body is glowing with an ethereal white light, drift floating through the endless dark. As Jihan slowly starts to regain consciousness, a desperate, heartbreaking realization flashes across his mind. "What?" he mutters internally, his thoughts echoing over the void. "Am I the only one alive again?" But before he can even sink into the crushing weight of his survivor's guilt, a blue system message flashes directly over his face. "Nameless Divine Arts is resisting deletion." Jihan opens his eyes, staring out into the dark space. The system interface itself seems completely stunned by this development, dropping a new text box into the darkness. "Interesting." Resisting the deletion, as Jihan looks down at his hand, watching the glowing energy pulse wildly through his veins, his mind drifts back to the unfulfilled potential of his power. He remembers the system description for his Nameless Divine Arts, skill rank, SSS, a sudden wave of deep regret washing over his face. "Would things have turned out differently if I had been able to upgrade this power?" he thinks to himself, staring blankly ahead. "Had I known the Nameless Divine Arts' real name? Would Korea still be here, and would I have been able to protect the people I love?" Suddenly, the system makes its final calculation. Massive, glowing blue windows drop down from the dark, completely overriding the deletion sequence as cosmic managers evaluate the anomaly. Two voting options materialize in the void: agree and disagree. This is a waste of power. Giant, godlike entities with towering mechanical armor and multiple glowing red eyes manifest, casting votes to decide his fate. The system tallies the results, and a final, definitive blue prompt flashes directly over the dark abyss. The votes are in. Player Song Jihan will be returned to the league's first entry ERA. Jihan's consciousness begins to blur into a localized glitch, his thoughts completely racing. League's first, what? Right before a massive neon blue agree portal flashes, dragging his soul backwards through spacetime, a disoriented voice slowly breaks into the room. Now onto the interview. Jihan's eyes suddenly snap wide open in a flash of absolute shock. He sits bolt upright, gasping for air as sweat pours down his forehead. He grips his head tightly, his vision swimming in pure confusion. "Way!" He groans, his stomach twisting violently as a massive hangover hits him like a freight train. He looks around the room, completely stunned. He is sitting on a clean couch inside a normal apartment, and right in front of him on the table are half-empty bottles of alcohol, his heart hammering against his chest as the reality of the situation hits him. "What happened?" he stammers out, trying to comprehend the sheer madness of his surroundings. I definitely read that I was going back to the league's first entry era. The clean, modern lines of the luxury apartment feel hauntingly familiar. He places a hand against his chin, his brows furrowing as sweat beads at his temple. He throws his legs off the couch, steps across the floor with desperate speed, and fiercely grabs the heavy curtains. With a sharp zhwak sound, he rips the drapes wide open, blinding morning light flooding straight into his eyes. He steps Standing tall and glittering brilliantly against a crisp, clear blue sky is an unruptured skyscraper city. No rubble. No blue flames. No alien monsters. The camera pans down to the peaceful streets below, revealing ordinary civilians walking calmly down the sidewalk, completely unbothered. A giant timestamp flashes at the bottom of the screen, 2020, South Korea. Right below his balcony, two young kids are playfully running around on the pavement, holding tree branches up into the air. I'm the Sword King. As his friend rolls his eyes with an as if just past them, a young couple walks hand in hand. The girl smiles brightly, asking, "Are you gonna game today too?" And the boyfriend grins, replying confidently, "Of course. The tutorial will be over soon." Jihan stands dead still in the sunlight, his dilated gray eyes trembling as the overwhelming proof washes over him. A single, profound thought solidifies in his mind: I am really back. He raises his right hand into the open air and speaks the phrase that every hunter knows by heart: status window. A brilliant, neon blue holographic panel instantly materializes right in front of his face. Name, Song Jihan, Level 2. A subtitle banner pops up across the frame, Level 2. This is when we first entered the league. A dark, slow smirk slowly creeps onto Jihan's face as he stares at the screen. He lets out a low, confident chuckle. Ha! He looks out over the city with a dangerous, plotting gaze. A second text card appears overhead. This is an opportunity. Yet he firmly drops his hand back down, his thoughts forming with absolute execution. If I use information from my past life, I can change the future. He clenches his right hand into a massive, tight fist, the knuckles turning white with unmatched intensity. No, I must change it. He slowly turns around and walks back into the room, stopping directly in front of a small shelf. Sitting under the light is a framed photograph of his past family, a happy, smiling couple holding a small baby tightly in their arms. He looks at their faces, his eyes darkening as his ultimate vow surfaces: I will protect everyone this time. It will be different. A brilliant, blinding flash of pure determination fills his gaze. His eyes lock straight forward as the screen sets up the ultimate journey of vengeance, because I saw the end of this game, and now, I'm back.
That announcement was the single biggest shock in the history of the Korean BattleNet. Yoon Se-jin didn't just leave, he completely erased his identity, demanding to be called Ito Ryuhei from that day forward. Watching this broadcast from his couch, our main character, Seong Ji-han, can barely control his rage. He has officially regressed back to the exact day the betrayal happened, staring at a face that will always irk him. With the country's sole anchor gone, South Korea instantly plunged into total chaos. The media tried to cope, with news anchors and naive analysts desperately claiming that everything would be fine. They confidently told the public that Korea still had plenty of bright, promising young talent to maintain a spot in the top 20. Jihan clicks off the television in pure disgust. It was exactly that kind of soft, delusional mindset that caused the country to fail so utterly. In reality, absolutely no one appeared to fill the massive power vacuum left by the Sword King. Maybe things could have been different if humanity had been given time to adapt, but BattleNet was a brutal, merciless system. In the beginning, everyone treated it like a regular, futuristic video game where people played around with floating blue screens. But everything changed 2 years later when the system initiated the Space League. Instantly, the fun stopped, and a horrific war for survival began. The rules became simple. If you lose your life inside the game, you die in reality. The consequences of failing the Space League were absolute and terrifying. Monsters began manifesting directly into countries that fell to the lower ranks, triggering one-sided massacres across the globe. Just as everyone predicted, without their primary pillar, South Korea tanked hard in the league standings and was eventually destroyed completely. Amid the ruins, the few desperate survivors couldn't help but sigh, whispering that things would have ended entirely differently if only the Sword King had stayed behind. That was just how incredibly powerful and vital Yoon Se-jin truly was to the nation's survival. But for Jihan, this global tragedy hit incredibly close to home. Staring at the shattered family portrait, Jihan can't help but wonder if things would have ended differently if his sister were still alive. He snaps back to reality, realizing that while coming back to the past at the perfect time is great, his current status window is absolute trash. Sitting on the couch, he pulls up his profile and is greeted by a miserable level 2 rank with baseline stats of 5 points across the board. Jihan isn't shocked, though. He remembers that during this era, he spent his days deeply depressed, drinking heavily, and gambling his life away. He was incredibly foolish back then because he didn't realize the massive potential of the system's mechanic. Back then, Jihan managed to manifest an F-rank ability called Wanderer's Eyes, which simply let him scan the stats of other players. Because it was the lowest possible rank, he treated it like a complete joke, using the interface to analyze match statistics just to place successful bets on underdog fighters online. Looking around his messy room filled with empty liquor bottles, Jihan laments how blind he was. He had no idea that the true, broken value of this specific ability only reveals itself later down the line after a proper awakening. He sighs at the blue screen, muttering that his current numbers are horrendous. They look like the profile of a fresh level 1 rookie, leaving him wondering how on earth he even qualified as a level 2 player in the first place. But as he continues scrolling through his interface, something else catches his attention, leaving him utterly stunned. Flashing brightly in neon blue on his screen is a massive notification reading, Achievement Points 100,000. Jihan can't believe his eyes. He is completely baffled as to why he has such an absurdly high number of points. Putting aside the fact that during this early era these points were considered completely useless and couldn't even be exchanged for real-world currency, he knows for a fact that he hadn't accomplished a single notable achievement before entering the league. He paces across the living room, staring intently at the floating screen, wondering if this massive anomaly is a direct side effect of his
regression. To investigate further, he opens up his digital inventory, only to gasp out loud in pure shock at what is sitting inside. Restated clearly in his vault is a legendary golden card marked with an Elite EX rating. It's an Achievement Points Exchange Coupon EX, a broken, system-defined benefit exclusively awarded to the last survivor, who chose to regress and challenge the system all over again. Jihan looks at the glowing icon, realizing that this game-changing item benefit is a cheat code meant uniquely for him. An rank EX coupon. Jihan presses down on his screen, clicking the item without hesitation. Instantly, a bright blue notification flashes across his field of vision. You've used the Achievement Points Exchange coupon. A secondary prompt follows, announcing that the secret Achievement Store interface has been officially added to his system menu. He looks closer at the newly unlocked store page, completely stunned to realize that a broken utility function like this could even be bought or sold. At level 1, the Golden Shop menu displays a very limited selection of perks. Jihan looks at the glowing menu, realizing there really aren't many immediate choices available to him. He needs something impactful that he can use right away, so he decides to invest his points directly into upgrading the shop itself. The screen flashes blue once more as the system alerts him that the achievement store is now level 2, unlocking an inventory expansion function. Jihan stares coldly at the interface, shaking his head. He mutters, "Not this. One more time." He pushes another massive chunk of points into the
interface, elevating the system to level 3. The store updates, notifying him that the adding nickname feature has now been unlocked. Jihan narrows his eyes in annoyance, realizing that a silly cosmetic feature won't be really useful to him right now either. He pulls up his remaining balance, staring blankly at the screen as he notes that he only has 50,000 achievement points left. Looking at the next level requirements, he sees that upgrading the store to level 4 will demand an exorbitant 40,000 points, which would leave him with a pathetic 10,000 points to spend. He sighs as he looks at the steep curve, realizing that the higher the level of the shop, the more expensive the upgrades become, with his point balance rapidly draining, tapping the digital prompt without a second thought. The interface glows brilliantly to reveal that his high-stakes gamble paid off. The achievement store is now level 4. A new system message flashes on the screen. Urgent restoration has been added. He opens the item description, which explains that the ability allows a player to repair any faulty or broken item back to a perfect state. At first glance, Jihan covers his face with his hand and sighs deeply, muttering that this is no good. But as the full realization of what this skill can actually do hits him, his disappointed look instantly transforms into a wide, cunning grin. He thinks to himself that this exact thrill is why he could never stop, because this time, he totally struck the jackpot. With a newfound weapon in his inventory, Jihan walks over to a secure biometric terminal in the apartment and presses his thumb against the scanning pad. The device chimes a success tone, flashing a message on the screen, recognition complete. You're a family member, Song Jihan. He is finally ready to access the secure vault and set his grand plans for this new life into motion. The heavy security doors slide open, and Jihan steps right into the inner sanctum, Yoon Sejin's private playing room. Even though the traitorous owner has completely abandoned the country, the automated terminal still recognizes Jihan as an authorized family member. Jihan slides into the luxurious simulator pod with a mocking smirk. He manually boots up the console, instantly overwriting the secure database. A bright system window flashes open, granting him full access to the hidden inventory of the premier BattleNet connector. Floating on his monitor is an A-rank item named Dongfang Shua's spoiled brush. The interface completely dismisses it as a useless piece of junk that holds absolutely zero combat value. But to a regressor with ultimate endgame meta-knowledge, this broken relic is his literal first key to breaking the entire system. Jihan wastes no time testing out his newly unlocked level 4 shop hack, coldly uttering the command, urgent restoration. A high-tech digital grid materializes, deploying a reconstruction matrix right around the artifact. The brush instantly channels a massive surge of raw power, radiating blinding blue and crimson magical energy as the fractures seal up perfectly. The screen chimes with a success notification declaring the repair complete. Overpowered, legendary weapon now secured in his low-level hands, he raises his head, ready to completely rewrite history. The smoke clears, and the true form of the artifact is unveiled, revealing a staggering transformation. It's no longer a broken piece of trash, it has evolved into Dongfang Shua's brush, a god-tier SS-rank treasure that holds a direct link to the absolute entity known as the martial god. Jihan grips the brush as blue lightning cracks around it, but before he can even celebrate, a critical system siren blares across the room. The tutorial for the Gangnam Bronze League is starting right now, and a glowing blue countdown flashes on his screen, only 10 seconds left until he is forcefully summoned into the arena. With the timer ticking down rapidly, Jihan commands the system to pull up his status window, knowing he doesn't have a single second to waste. He raises the glowing SS rank brush and begins aggressively writing directly onto his digital status screen. In his past life, Jihan managed to rise all the way to rank number 7 globally, earning the legendary title of Martial Saint. The secret behind that terrifying power wasn't generic grinding, it was a rare, hidden unique stat that perfectly fuses strength, agility, and health together into one overpowered attribute called martial power. A massive, roaring vortex of golden and blue magical lightning erupts around Jihan, completely engulfing his character model. As the countdown timer ticks down to its final 2 seconds, his pathetic baseline stats of 5 are consumed by the and Jihan's base stats vanish as a bright alert chimes out. Player Song Jihan has officially logged into the BattleNet League. A sharp burst of light teleports him away, and he is greeted by a massive golden crest revealing his first official scenario. The system announces that the mission this time is a brutal match of survival. The mechanics are simple yet deadly. Jihan is deployed into a massive coliseum along with 100 other players, and they must survive against waves of vicious monsters. The map will only end automatically once exactly half of the players have been slaughtered, meaning 50 people are guaranteed to die in this room. Jihan stands completely frozen as the digital blue transfer grid fades, looking around in absolute shock. He finds himself standing barefoot on the sand of a massive, crowded arena, still holding Dongfang Shua's brush tightly in his right hand. He looks at the grand stone walls surrounding him, whispering, "The Colosseum?" Realizing where he is, his mind instantly races back to his profile. He panics for a split second, wondering if his illegal stat modification actually registered before the teleportation took place. He hastily commands the system to open up his status window. The notification bar glows intensely, reading, "The traits of strength, agility, and HP have been successfully combined into martial power." Against all odds, his game-breaking gamble succeeded perfectly, and he has officially unlocked his legendary unique stat on day 1 of the tutorial. Looking closely at his updated profile, Jihan verifies the changes. Followed immediately by a massive bonus reward, you've obtained 10,000 achievement points. Jihan exhales a breath of pure relief, lowering his glowing brush as a confident, dangerous smile takes over his face. He thinks to himself, "We meet again. Of course, unlocking a base martial power stat of 5 is just the very first step toward his true goal of reclaiming the ultimate nameless divine art, but with this broken setup alone, he knows he can easily breeze right through the entire Bronze League without breaking a sweat. Suddenly, a system warning cuts through his thoughts, flashing an urgent red prompt across the sand: "You've logged in without being connected with the battle connector. If you don't use the connector, then you'll experience 100% of the pain in the game." Jihan stands calmly in the center of the stadium, closing his eyes as a wave of memories hits him. He remembers this mechanic clearly. Battle.net is a merciless world that effectively reduces a player's physical pain with money. Another bright notification pops up: achievement window has been opened, followed closely by a rare alert: you've received a limited quest. Jihan stares at the blue text in absolute disbelief. The system issues a specific challenge: achieve number 1 in the tutorial, offering a reward of 1,000 achievement points. Jihan racks his brain, remembering clearly that nothing like this ever appeared during his first time through the tutorial. A confident grin spreads across his face as he dismisses the anomaly. He thinks to himself that taking top marks will be a complete piece of cake now that he possesses his broken martial power stat. The final system banner drops onto the arena: game start. Please survive until the game ends. But before he can even take his first step across the sand, a reckless player in a red jacket blindsides him from behind. The attacker leaps through the air, swinging his sword down with a manic laugh while screaming, "Newbie, I gotcha." The overconfident thug expects an easy first blood, but his ecstatic expression instantly distorts into a look of absolute terror and confusion. He reaches up and cleanly catches the descending metal blade barehanded, halting the massive strike completely dead in its track. The metal blade begins to intensely vibrate and shake under his overwhelming grip, completely sealing the attacker's fate. Jihan casually glances back over his shoulder, his eye flashing a terrifying predatory blue as a chilling, sinister smirk spreads across his face. He calmly looks at his struggling prey and mutters, "Thanks for the first kill." To a hardened regressor who has seen the absolute darkest parts of Battle.net, the most enjoyable content in this twisted system isn't hunting down mindless field monsters, it is ruthlessly slaughtering the garbage people who try to prey on others.
Surrounded by heavily armed rivals in a massive arena, our hero grips his sword and prepares for total war. The system alert finally flashes across the sky. The hunting grounds are officially open, and my target cannot run. There he is, standing clueless in the center. I lock my eyes onto him and draw my blade. Look at him sweating already. He finally realizes the absolute nightmare he just walked into. Fear is taking over. He thinks his cheap luck will save him today. Enjoy your delusions while you can, do Hyukyu. Your game ends now. A pathetic member of the Divergent Guild. Clench your fists all you want, kid, confidence won't save you from me. Backed by the massive power of the Divergent Group. It doesn't matter how rich your corporate masters are. They can't save you here. They boast about having the finest rising stars in the world. Good. Taking down an elite guild member makes my victory taste sweeter. An A-rank agility gift that completely breaks the rules. Fascinating. Let us see if your speed can outrun my blade. They think you are a guaranteed lock for the top 50. Too bad your hyped-up talent dies right here today. You are looking right at him, kid. Prepare yourself, because I am about to be your absolute worst nightmare. Chaos erupts across the stadium floor. Amateurs are already throwing their lives away for a brief moment of glory. Weaklings are getting crushed left and right. This isn't a game, kid. It is a slaughterhouse, and you are next. Even the local monsters are joining the frenzy. Keep celebrating your little realization, kid. You have already walked right into my trap. Run along and play for now, little mouse. I will let you think you are safe before I strike you down. Sneaking around and playing the coward won't save you. You can try to survive the others, but you won't survive me. Look at him freeze up. He is completely overwhelmed by the elite gear around him. Welcome to the real world, kid. Go ahead and look away. A single moment of distraction is all it takes to lose everything in here. He's distracted by a nobody in a tank top. Keep looking at him, kid, while I quietly line up my shot. Worrying about another loser's choice of clothes. Your mind is completely blank to the blade aimed directly at your neck.
completely dumbfounded by a common newbie. This is my perfect opening, and I am not going to miss it. That means he is an easy kill. My hand grips the hilt tightly, and the hunt officially ends right now. He's nothing but an easy free kill. Watch closely as I clear this amateur from the arena floor. Look at him celebrate like he already won. His blind arrogance is making him completely blind to his own execution. The final rules flash across the screen. Survive until the game ends? Too bad your timer runs out right now. He moves like lightning, lunging straight for his unsuspecting prey. There is no escape from a sudden strike like this. He unleashes his full force with a bloodthirsty scream. This is the end of the line for you, amateur. A massive wave of blue energy tears through the air. There is absolutely no surviving a devastating impact like this. Wait, what is happening? He froze mid-strike, his face turning pale as he realizes something has gone horribly wrong. No way, he caught the massive blade with just 2 bare fingers. What kind of a monster did I just attack? He didn't just stop the blade, he slammed me into the dirt like a helpless doll. Who the hell is this guy? He looks down at me like I'm nothing but insects. He's mocking my entire existence with just a glance. How dare he insult my power? My A-rank gift is elite, and I am going to make this bastard regret his words. He just casually admits it without a shred of fear. This arrogant bastard is completely driving me out of my mind. He's just a penniless nobody who got lucky once. I will wipe that smug look right off his pathetic face. Then, everything shifts. I dig my heels into the dirt, preparing to show this bastard my true speed. I will come at you with my fastest speed. Prepare to be completely obliterated by my maximum output. That is right, look closely at me. Realize my true speed isn't something you can easily joke about anymore. I gave it my absolute all, but he barely even moved. He casually dodged my ultimate speed like a joke. He's not just faster than me. He belongs to a completely different dimension of power altogether. I am finished. My blade cuts nothing but thin air. He moved so fast he left an afterimage behind, completely outmaneuvering me. He's right behind me. When did he get there? Cold sweat runs down my spine as death stares me down, swing wildly, slashing again and again, but I'm only hitting ghosts. He slips past every strike effortlessly. Before I can even reset my stance, he closes the gap. He's right in front of me now, ready to strike. He is dodging my ultimate attacks while casually complaining about adjusting back to level 2. What kind of monster is this guy? Those cold eyes see right through me. He thinks I'm the one who's slow. This isn't a fight anymore, it's execution. He's smirking at me. He talks about his past fights like he's some kind of ancient, unbeatable war veteran. He calls my ultimate combination simple and obvious. Every single strike I throw is completely predicted before it even lands. He's just staring at his hand, completely ignoring my stance. He sees everything I do before I even do it, scream and throw everything into one final strike. This has to hit him, it just has to. He doesn't even bother facing me. My sword cuts empty air while he casually turns his back to my attack. Then, his eye locks onto me. A cold gleam flashes in his gaze, and I know my time is officially up. A single, blinding strike knocks the weapon clean out of my hands. My sword goes flying helplessly into the sky. A devastating fist explodes against my jaw before I can even blink. Total darkness swallows me instantly. Huh. What just happened? My body feels completely numb, and my chest is burning with electric pain. What is this? My body isn't moving at all. An icy wave of pure panic rushes over me. The entire world is spinning upside down. I stumble helplessly backward as he leaps above me with terrifying grace. He touches down effortlessly, completely unfazed. I can't even stand while he moves with absolute perfection. He caught my own blade out of the air. Those glowing eyes, he's going to end me with my own sword, single, flawless / tears right through me. It's impossible, my entire world is dissolving into digital dust. My body hits the dirt as the system deletes my data. I am erased by a monster masquerading as a rookie. Enjoy your hollow victory for now, rookie. Next time we cross paths, I will be the one who leaves you broken. Now the MC says, he's still screaming about a rematch after being totally erased. This modern game world really is soft and peaceful. First blood goes to me. 100 achievement points for a simple warm-up kill isn't a bad start at all. It turns out their weapons dissolve along with their bodies. What a shame, that sword would have made decent loot. Warm-up is over. Time to get moving and secure the top spot by hunting down my next 5 targets. Wait. A sudden movement in the distance catches my eye. It looks like another player has wandered right into my sights. Just as I thought. Every other player is completely ignoring the monsters to hunt each other instead. 10 monster kills only equal 1 player point. It is a slow grind, but an empty field means safe points. Amateurs run away because mobs are tedious and gross. They are completely blind to the massive goldmine standing right here. They think fighting mobs is stupid. Perfect. That means this entire horde belongs exclusively to me. Hidden quest pops up. 500 achievement points just for clearing out some low-level stadium trash. Easy money. A hidden quest just triggered. 500 achievement points for wiping out 30 orcs. The system is practically handing me the lead. 5 times the reward of a player kill. Hunting them might be inefficient for others, but for me? This is a jackpot. 500 achievement points is massive. It completely flips the math on standard monster hunting. If that is the case, there is absolutely no reason to pass this up. Time to clear the field and take my points. A virtual monster is just a fake imitation. These stadium pets are absolutely nothing compared to a real orc. A virtual monster is just data. These cheap copies are absolute garbage compared to a flesh and blood real orc. Well then, let us see how fast these system playthings break when I actually start trying. Shall I go crazy? Watch closely as I turn this entire battlefield into my personal playground. Look at them panic. They think an unarmored human rushing a whole mob is pure insanity. I charge straight down their throats. My pure speed leaves them completely baffled, panicking before the fight even starts. They howl and scream their empty threats. Let them rage, because this horde is about to get completely pulverized, to right under their guard and breach the line. They left themselves wide open. I pull back my fist and lock onto the perfect target to start the massacre. I let loose a massive whirlwind punch. The sheer pressure alone is enough to tear their front lines completely apart. No armor, no problem. I will just borrow this heavy axe right out of their hands. Let's start the harvest. Watch my stance shift. The shadows cross my face as I put my full weight behind this throwing strike. I let the heavy weapon fly. It tears through the air like a localized hurricane, heading straight for their front lines. The axe hits with explosive force, shattering their front ranks while I pivot smoothly into my next stance. Before they can even register the shockwave, I slide right between them. Their massive armor means nothing if they cannot touch me. I rip another axe straight off their ranks mid-stride. No pause, no hesitation. The real slaughter begins right now. They cannot even react to my positioning. The entire horde freezes in complete shock as I casually step right into their blind spot. A system alert shows that the 15 orc are killed out of 30. So I will like to end this video here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and make sure to like the video. Comment down if you want to see the next part.